Hey guys, has it been a minute or has it been a minute? Wait till you see the deliciousness I'm preparing for you today. Stay tuned and let's make some liver in Mazila. So Mazila is Maziwa Lala. Maziwa Lala, Mazila. Get it? Get it? No? Yes? Okay, never mind. So I mix all my spices together. That's garam masala, black pepper, and paprika. So I'm using natural garlic and ginger, but if you don't have, you can use ginger and garlic powder instead. So I'm just going to add that into the liver like I've already done. Add some salt to taste. I didn't use all the spices because we're going to need the remainder of those for the cooking. And then the best part is going to be putting in our Mazila. So this is it's going to be the base of our broth for this liver. Instead of just making it pan fried and kind of dry, the Mazila comes in to help. It's also some sort of tenderizer in a way. So we add the Mazila, mix it all in together, ensure to get the last drop, very important. I'm then going to add my ginger and garlic paste. So this also acts as a good marinade, while also it'll give the flavor while marinating and give more flavor while you're cooking, because whatever we add right now, we're just going to throw it into the pan when we start cooking. So mix that all together and then cover it in cling film or a lid and put it in the fridge. You could put it for 30 minutes, an hour, depends on how long you have. So it's all up on your timing. You can even do it for 15 minutes if you have that much time, but as always, we know marinades work best when left longer. So once our liver is in the fridge, we're going to quickly slice our onions. There's no specific way you're going to slice them, but you don't make them too thick because we want them to incorporate nicely into the liver. Liver is a very delicate meat, and the better they cook, the better the meat will taste. So add oil to a hot pan. Let the oil sit for a few seconds, and then you bring in your onions. And if you've watched my other videos, you know that what do we do to the onions? We let them saute. Have you gotten it at the back over there? We let our onions, correct, saute. I see you've been paying attention. So we're going to do that just before we add our spices. We never add our spices immediately. Repeat after me, we never add our spices immediately. So we start with the garlic and ginger paste that we left over, because we want that to cook first until it's fragrant. You can smell it. Then we add our also leftover spices. Mix that together. If you need to add some water to avoid sticking, as always, do that too, but not too much water, just a little, to ensure it doesn't stick at the bottom. Then we bring in our tomato paste. I didn't mention tomato paste earlier, but yes, we're going to use tomato paste. You can use tomatoes as well. Tomato paste just cooks better. You don't have especially if your tomatoes are not ripe, you might end up having the onion, the tomato chunks. I don't really like that, so that's why I prefer to use tomato paste. So that's when you might need to really add some water. So I just rinsed off my Mazila glass and added that water in. Let the tomato paste cook. It's very important to let tomato paste cook. It tastes raw if you don't let it cook. So once it's cooked, you bring in your marinated liver. Don't remove anything, don't rinse it, just add it as it is. We are cooking our Maziwa Lala today. I know, cool, right? Mix it all up. I always advocate for mixing everything together nicely. It's very important. So ensure every inch of the liver is coated with the cooked spices and the tomato paste and the onions. So this is going to be nice. You're going to see it changing. It started off looking like a reddish, like a stained white, white that has been stained by red. And then over the course of the cooking, you'll see it turning darker and darker until it's completely brown. It just looks delicious. You can see the process of this meat cooking. And the best part about this is that you don't need to add anything else. You don't need to worry about adding the water, because the Mazila lala has water and fat, so the two really cook the liver nicely. Also, remember, it's on low heat. At the end of the day, Mazila is still milk. It'll burn. So use the lowest heat possible. So we're cooking. This is a slow process. It's not a 1, 2, 3 time meal. When you fry liver on a pan, like just pan-fried liver, you do it pretty quickly, because liver is easy to cook. But then here we're using a different ingredient that needs time to infuse. So you can just high heat it and watch it, like just the same way you do kawaida. So let's not do that. It's low heat. So I added some water to reduce the thickness. It got really thick. That's the other thing. It gets really thick. And then our last ingredient is parsley. We're going to add it in 2 stages. So the first stage infuses the flavor and almost cooks, and the last stage will be at the very end. So I really like doing this differently, in a way, like this whole liver dish. So parsley has a lot of flavor, really good, fresh, vibrant flavor. That's what we're infusing here right now, but we're adding just a smidge of the entire bunch that we had. You've noticed I have a lot of leftovers in this meal, so adding a little bit right now, because we still need it to cook some more. So we want the very first fresh flavors to be infused in there. We're almost done, let's not forget that, but we want to infuse these flavors right this moment. And then when you're ready to turn off your heat, you add the last bunch, mix it all in, and then you turn off your heat. And that's the part where you feel like you're not just getting the flavor from the parsley, you're getting it even inside the meat as well, because already we had infused it before. I feel like I'm in a science lab talking about infusion and stuff. That's what I mean. You infuse the flavor and then you add on it. That way you can't even tell, is this coming from inside the meat? Is this just because I added it last minute? It's a neat trick. You should try it. But you won't even feel like for people, maybe some people that might not like the taste of raw parsley. There's that as well. So if you want to cook it a bit more, that's also fine. But the flavors come out best instead of do it in levels. That's what we're doing here. We're just letting it saute. Add our Royco cube. This I did not add too much salt because I kept in mind that I was going to add a Royco cube. And Royco cubes are usually salty. So if you add too much salt, it means you might not be able to add the Royco cube, and if you do, it ruins the flavor, and we don't want that. So be sure to not add too much salt. Squeeze it, crush it in, mix it all up, let it mix together, let it cook. So we're adding the Royco cube before we add the last bunch of parsley. Let's remember that, people. So we mix it all together. See how thick it is? We didn't add anything, it's just thick, so nice and so thick. If you don't believe in sort of making liver into a broth, then you should really try this. You're not using water because liver doesn't have, it can't make soup, it can't make a thick broth. It's not like kawaida meat, so you have to use something that will help it become this way. And what other best thing to use other than Mazila, you know? And it's just so thick and delicious and flavorful, especially the ginger and garlic. They add so much good flavor into it. So we're just going to mix it up. We're pretty much done here. So the only thing left is adding our last bunch of parsley, which we're going to do any minute now. And then we'll just turn off our heat. There we go. It's the bigger bunch. So we're adding that in. Get the last leaf, very important. Mix it in together. Can't leave any stone unturned. Cooking on a shallow pan is challenging in a way because you have to be careful to not spill. It's very easy to spill because the pan is shallow. Then again, this can't turn out the way we want it to. We cook it in a sufuria. This is something, it has to be, it comes out better pan fried because of there's a lot of surface area. Not going to crowd it together. You're not even going to be tempted to cover it. That way it steams nicely. It just cooks really nicely. And ladies and gentlemen, here we have our Mazila liver, thick and delicious. As always, I really hope you enjoyed it. I hope you're going to try it and tag me on Instagram at the curated palette, well, at the _curated_palette. And I hope to see you on the next one. I am sorry I have been away, but I am back now. Thank you for watching. Bye.